Welcome back, everybody. It's Trevor Richlen of the Viking Long Box. I have my brother Tyler Richlen for the next artist spotlight, May 24th, Saturday and Sunday at the shop, and he is kind enough to sit down with me for an interview, so y'all get to know him not as well as I do because that would be fucking weird, and you may not like it. So, welcome. Thanks, T-Bone.
Howdy. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Brandy.
Let's start by just kind of giving us a brief overview of kind of how you got your start, what got you into your love of drawing and animation, and just kind of touch on your highlights of your resume.
Well, as a young child, growing up in the Appalachian Mountains, no, I'm just kidding.
Young warthog.
Down home where I was born. No, I've been a dork since I was little. The second I was able to put crayons to paper, I've been drawing.
Can confirm.
The first time, so I'm an animator by trade. I work at Powerhouse Animation here in Austin, Texas, and I've been part of projects from Sonic to Call of Duty to He-Man and Masters of the Universe. Um, I've gotten to and Seis Manos for Netflix, which
Yeah.
was an awesome freaking program gone too soon. Uh, but I've gotten to work on a ton of stuff, and I mean, got my start in comics. Uh, Worked on trading cards. Got published in Heavy Metal magazine,
That was awesome. I was
and
telling somebody
then
about that.
yeah, and then realized my best bet for a future in artwork was animation, which I didn't think was a thing, right? Like we grew up loving and watching cartoons, and one of the pivotal moments for me was the Batman animated series, right? Like we had all sorts of really cool cartoons before then, but the Batman animated series was the first time where I was like, oh my God, I could animate my love of comics. Like that's a whole different thing. And then I found out that it was all done overseas and that really wasn't an option anymore. So when I went to ACC, I did it as a way to get the parents off my back so that they were like, you're going to college. And I was like, ha, kind of.
Uno reverse.
Yeah, right. You don't need to know what I'm working on. And accidentally stumbled into an animation class with an instructor who would become my best friend, Mike Stevens. And he taught me how to animate. And I found out that that actually still gets done here in the US. You can still animate things in the US. So I've been
Tariffs.
animating things since about 2009 now. So 15
Nice.
years.
Yeah, and I remember was shit. The cartoon movie Spill. Was Spill your first animating gig?
No. Spill.com was my first full-time animation gig, but I actually did a uh, small project. My very first published project was it was like So You Can Sing or something like that. It was this really cool music instructor at I think Bowie. She was an Austin instructor, and
Oh,
she wanted to get an animation done for her choir kids. And so we did this goofy little animation where all the kids were musical notes and they would sight sing so the kids could get used to the hand motions, reading music, and singing.
I remember you.
Um, and I still know that song. I can still sing it to this day. Animating a song will sear itself into your memory for the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
dude, how many times did you have to listen to that song?
Oh man, it was like a 3.5 minute song. And so me and I think it was me and Robbie, Jeff, and somebody else. I wish I could remember his name. And between the four of us, we had about 40 seconds of animation apiece. And so you're just listening to it on loop over and over and over as you're trying to get these kids to lip sync and stuff like that. So
Goodness.
hours of
I think
that
I
for
remember
days upon
the
end.
for that from you.
Yep. So
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, belt out a verse. Let's hear it.
I'm a terrible singer. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, that's what makes good TV.
Yeah, no.
Fine.
This
Bang.
this isn't the American Idol. I don't have to embarrass myself. I'm a stoic, manly something or other.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
no embarrassment here.
I like comics, cartoons. That's right.
Yep, yep, yep.
Pockets. I don't even wait for them to cool down. That's how fucking hardcore I am. God damn it.
Right. I eat my hot pockets without blowing on them. That's how hardcore I am.
Oh shit. Dude doesn't even blow them. Pause. Anyway,
Pause.
pause. Phrasing. We're not doing phrasing anymore. So with your animation career, what is, and you could do top two if it's difficult to single one out. What is your like crowning achievement to date that you are super proud of? That if anybody brings up your animation career, you're like, oh, check this fucking thing out.
So
Something like that. What gets you all
I'm that jackass who loves monsters, right? I'm that dude who like you could give me the coolest project in the world and I'd be like, yeah, but that thing had dinosaurs. So I should say Sonic, right? I did three different projects for Sega. I did the trailer for Dream Team, and I got to co-direct that one, which was really friggin' fun. And then before that, I got to work on the trailer for Sonic Frontiers. And then the first project that I got to work on, which was really, really cool, were the opening scene and the cutscenes for Sonic Origins. And that was just a blast to work on.
and that was all Sonic, right?
That was all Sonic.
Yeah.
But if you ask me what my favorites are, I have two projects that I absolutely love that people are going to go, what the fuck is that? Um, the first one was Spider Sores.
Spider swords?
Yep, I
Like,
shit you not. It was a very small video game, and our trailer's fucking awesome. And there are literally crazy scientists that meld dinosaurs and bugs together, and you run around destroying them.
okay.
It
I
is
was okay. I was thinking like sores, like boils, like
no,
your spider trying to escape STDs or some shit.
no, like literally a T-Rex spider.
Okay. That makes a lot
and
more
and more, right? There's more. But yeah, Spider Swords is some of my favorites, and then my favorite, my crowning achievement was actually I did two Broforce trailers. One was for the release of Broforce, and the other one was for an extension when they added a bunch of characters. And the second one holds a special place in my heart because I got to animate Xena,
sick.
and she chops a bunch of people in half, and it's fucking hilarious. And it's just gory as all get out, and it's just me getting to do irreverent, stupid things, and that's really all I ever want to do. It's fun to do things that are like heartfelt or really cinematic. But to me, if you give me a good scene where you're like, I need this person ripped in half, or here's a giant monster that's going to eat a bunch of people, that's that's me. That's what I want to do. That's
That's
the
why
type
it's
of stuff I love.
fucking fun at Spill because I mean, I know it had its massive fucking problems. We don't have to get into that, but you had a lot of like free reign to do the craziest shit I've seen you animate to date. It may not have been your best work, but it was
No.
definitely your most fucking insane work. And do you still have like a demo reel on YouTube people can find to see like your old Spill animation or your Broforce trailers? I know they
I
can just look up Broforce trailer, but
I don't know that it's public. So I hid most of my spill stuff uh after a little while just because it's so irreverent and without um context, some of it's really fucked up. I mean, with context, some of it's really fucked up, but without context, some of it's really fucked up. I'm pretty sure I'm on a Disney blacklist for the rest of my life because I got really bored at one point and they were hiring animators and I knew I couldn't get in, but I was dealing with insomnia at the point, so I was not in my right mind. And I sent them a spill demo reel with the Pixar vehicles banging each other. So I am almost certain that I'm on some sort of do not call list for Disney.
Dude,
Uh,
I
not that they're
respect,
doing traditional animation these days
I
anyway, but
respect, I respect the
yeah.
wild card aspect of you. Just like fuck it, full send. Let's do it.
Man, lack of sleep and ADD make for some really weird life decisions. Uh, that I wouldn't take back. I'd totally do it again because I'm certain there's somebody at Disney that had to look at that and went and then just buried it forever.
Oh, dude, they
But
probably, the vast majority of them probably laugh their asses off at it and then turn their noses up at it in public. We're like, oh, gross. That is so off
well, I
color.
mean that's you kind of have to, right? That's kind of your job. The we are a family friendly company and we make this, that, and the other thing. Oh, two cars having sex. That is
It's education.
yeah. No. So
Can't be
yeah,
worse.
I totally get it. It's never been a thing where I've like it would have been fun to work at Disney, but that's a young man's game. The idea of being able to go from one job to the next to the next to the next without any gaps in employment.
Yeah.
Not to mention having to live in Burbank. That's just I'm not interested in dealing with that anymore. At this point, I would much rather get a weird project where Powerhouse is like, hey, we're gonna be animating nothing but monsters today, and nobody else wants to do this because three kids get eaten. And I'm like, fuck yes, give it to me. I'm never gonna animate that at Disney. That's never gonna happen at a place like that. Uh, so it's I'm in my late 30s at this point. So if it doesn't entertain me, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right? It's really hard to get out of bed and draw something that I don't want to draw.
So funny how that's so universal to most professions. Like when you first enter the field, you don't give a shit. Just give me a job and a paycheck, and you can use and abuse me. And then the older you get, you learn the value of no, and professional fuck off will go a long way for your mental health. And yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
It goes a long way.
nah, kick rocks, get to stepping. And we've never done too well with being told what to do and given parameters. We usually see it as a challenge or a
Well,
way
that's
to,
just it, right? It's a creative this is a creative field. And
right,
you're always going to get feedback, and you should always get feedback because at the end of the day, especially for animation, you are becoming one pencil, right? No matter how many different people there are, it has to look like one person animated that whole thing, which is a
right.
skill all of its own, right? And so you have to push down that ego that you have where you're like, ah, this is my time to shine. It's like, yeah, dude, you're doing fucking South Park. This isn't your time to shine. This is
Yeah,
your time to animate South Park.
this isn't
Um,
Marvel. Okay.
right. And so there is a lot of okay, well, you have to temper your expectations, you have to become part of a team, and you have to do exactly what you're asked. But at the end of the day, also, you are a creator. And so I get to sit there and go, well, the timing on this storyboard doesn't work correctly. So I can fix this, that, and the other thing and make it really flourish. Or maybe the character acting isn't quite what it needs to be because we did a board to scratch audio, which is just us in the studio making audio to take the place of the professional stuff we'll get later. And then we get the professional stuff and it hits different, right? And so you
Yeah.
kind of have to change a little bit of the acting. So there's a lot of room for creativity. And so when you get somebody who is like, no, you can't be creative, it's like, nah, fuck off. Nobody got into this gig
This
to not
entire
be
thing.
creative, right?
Yeah.
If I wanted somebody dictating exactly what I did at exactly what time, exactly what way, I'd go be a fucking CPA.
I want to be a lion
I want
tamer.
to be a lion tamer. Yep.
Letters. Well, cool, man. Shit. Well, so two things, two-parter. What is, and you're that annoying piece of shit artist who can draw absolutely anything, but what is your least favorite thing to draw? That could be subject matter, that can be an object,
Big
whatever.
cats.
Huh?
Big cats.
Big cats.
So my favorite animator of all time is Milt Kahl, so it burns me to the core. I suck so bad at drawing big cats. Lions, tigers, whatever. I don't know what it is. I have the hardest time uh simplifying fur
Uh,
and getting those forms to be appealing. It's mostly an appeal thing. Like if somebody gives me a cat design, I can animate it. It's one of those things where like we did a show called Grandma's Cats, and if you ever go watch that on YouTube, I did the whole opening, the whole opening theme song and all that. All of that animation is mine.
that's all.
Um,
What?
Grandma's Cats.
Nice, and it's on
It's
YouTube.
about this, yeah, it's about this old lady who has her grandson living with her, and she has two cats that are attempting to murder her. And
That's
the
right.
son has to stop these cats from killing her all the time. And it's really fun and
That's right up your
really
alley.
weird and off the wall. Um, so I don't have trouble drawing them if somebody else gives me the design.
Right. You can animate. Yeah,
Yeah,
kill
if I
it.
have to do it myself, oh, it's rough.
It's funny now that you say that, I can't really think of a specific piece where you had a big cat in there, not counting, Thundercats or anything like that.
Yep, Thundercats and the latest Battle Beast
Yes.
piece that I'm working on. That's
That's
about it. I
really
had I had written a short comic for my son where it was Krampus and Santa Claus versus the Yule Cat.
oh
And
yeah.
I designed the Yule Cat like a dozen times and was like, I hate this. I hate this so much.
That's awesome.
Yep, so it has not been finished.
So that's drawing. What about, is there a subject matter or a project? I don't want you to get in trouble, but is there something you hate to animate? Whether like, I hate animating somebody running, I hate animating somebody landing from a jump, or is there something that kind of you have to work a little bit extra to get it to look right because it's a fucking thorn in your side or anything like that?
I don't have any problem animating things because to me that's just physics and I love physics. So how people move and all that stuff is just to me that's just a problem to solve. I I'm gonna get so much shit for this. Um, I hate animating cute anime. I hate it. There's no monsters to that. It's just girls going, ah, and I can't fucking stand it. I can't fucking stand it. We did this beautiful, beautiful project for an ice cream company, and it turned out great. And I hated animating every single moment of it. And
There's
people love
space.
that shit. And I get it because I love a lot of anime shows and I love a lot of anime movies and I even collect some manga, but I hate doing it.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how much I hate doing it. And it kills me because if I had a dream job, it would be to go work on a Ghibli project,
Really?
right? Yep. Go work on a Studio Ghibli project. That'd be amazing. It would be the highlight of my career to get to go do something like that because
Wow.
all of their work is beautiful. it's impactful. I would get to learn so much from those animators. It would be the coolest thing ever, and I can almost guarantee I would hate every second of it. It's just, it's not something that appeals to me. Like if you're like, draw a woman, I'm defaulting to Frank Cho and Frazetta. Like
Yeah.
they're going to be realistic, they're going to be thick, and they're going to look like they can pull a door off its hinges
Yeah.
because it's it's a superhero woman. They're supposed to be sturdy.
Yeah.
Um, it took me years to be able to draw skinny people in general.
Yeah.
Like draw a female teen. Good fucking luck. I hope she looks like she can open all the pickle jars, because she fucking can.
14-year-old girl on TRT? Yes, she is.
Yep. Yes, she is. Yep. Those aren't the Teen Titans. Those are the fucking Trend Titans. Um,
Swim team.
yeah, it's just, it's hard for me. I've done it long enough to where I can, and I do it on a regular basis. Our house style is Western mixed with anime. So I
Right.
have to draw anime female characters all the time, but it is my least favorite thing to do. Please give me all the monsters and give me all the giant yoked guys that nobody wants to move around because they accidentally make the big guys stiff. Don't make the big guys stiff. They're big hunky things. They should be bouncing and all sorts of shit. Like they're all sorts of fun to animate, and it's funny. That's where most of my friends who draw the most wonderful anime uh, uh, female characters, they fail so bad. They're just like, oh no, I've got this big hulking character. It's like, yeah, that's mine. Give that
I'll
to
take that.
me. I'll have no problems. You're struggling to animate He-Man? Give it to me.
Okay. Call it.
Yep.
And that's something kind of different, not styles of animation, but you're talking about the styles of animation you like and don't like. And that's something that I've always thought was really cool about you is you seem to have, you can jump back and forth and maybe you don't have, well, you have your own individual specific style of animation, but then you have to conform to the house style animation at Powerhouse. But what I was getting at is you seem to have a really cool ability to have an animation style and then an illustrative, like comic book style. And I know you were trying to find that illustrative
It
comic
gets
books.
lost.
But
Yeah.
that's really freaking cool that you can bounce back and forth doing, more cartoonish animated and then back to kind of comic book classic Oz. That was his pen name.
Oh
Or
yeah. I had a pen name for years because otherwise it was Tyler Stewart Richland. And I was like, I'm not signing that whole damn thing. So yeah. But yeah, you lose it though. You
yeah,
know, if I don't do comic illustration, and I didn't, there was a good gap between like 2014 and 2022 where I didn't do much comic illustration or just illustration in general. It was all animation oriented. Like even when I was drawing the Punisher, it was an animated version of the Punisher and stuff
right.
like that. And so I lost it pretty hard. It's still hard for me to go back and jump in. So I've been jumping back in recently, uh, just because I'd like to stretch that muscle again. But you lose it if you don't play with it, you absolutely lose it, and that's not
Oh
really
man.
something I want to do. I don't really want to lose my comic book style. It's too much fun to play with.
Like clearly not to the level of you and never have been, but I just got back into drawing and painting and all that shit. And the most frustrating thing is getting to a part in whatever I'm working on that I used to be able to do really well, and I can't remember how I used to do it, and it pisses me the fuck off, and I find a new
Yeah,
way to do
dude.
it. Oh, it wasn't the way I used to do it, and I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's also that it's that confidence. There's a fantastic artist. I love to watch him work. Is Ryan Benjamin.
That's right.
And so much of his work is just confidence. He knows where he wants to put the lines. He knows when he needs to drop the line width on his pens. Like he knows when to pool his ink. Like it's brilliant. It's so nice to watch him work because he knows exactly what he wants to do. Even when it's something he hasn't seen before, his mind works in a way where he looks at that and goes, okay, now it's time to start adding all these things. Here's my flourish. Here's where I am like very dutiful to the original artwork. And here's where I go ahead and break it and add my flair. And that's something that when you get back into it, I was like, I am going to make this exterior line work fucking sexy. All right, now crosshatch and shadow it. We
I've fallen in love with watching inkers on Instagram. That shit is hypnotizing and infuriating because it's so, I don't know. I guess I was naive and such a shitty inker and still a shitty inker that like cross hatching is fucking psychotic geometry. It is so insane to see the different styles and ways to hatch and where to hatch and knowing, like you said, having the confidence to know, oh, I'm going to add a random 5 lines to the end of this little hatching area. And all of a sudden it just changes the trajectory of the entire, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
I,
completely, and it's also funny because sometimes it will save artwork,
yeah.
right? You can have really, really flat looking artwork, and then you'll have just a badass inker hit it up and add all that hatching and all that stuff, and it turns out beautiful. And what really kind of cracks me up right now is that we have gotten to a point in comics where so much of it is inked digitally that the cross hatching's gotten insanely tight, like insanely tight, to the point of it almost looking like a dry brush rather than hatching.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so you'll get these old guys who hatch more like John Romita Sr. or John Buscema and guys like that. And you'll have these young comic fans who are just like, wow, that art looks really dated. The fuck do you mean dated? It's done on paper, bitch.
Frick yourself, bitch.
I know, right? It's like, damn it, this is done with a friggin' brush. I guess that is dated, but it's just so funny to hear because it's just like, does that make it worse, or are you just looking for the most high res thing you can find? And I
Yeah,
find that to be an interesting dichotomy when I am drawing, especially for something I'm going to post on Instagram, because you're looking at it on a phone.
right,
So
right.
most of that detail's fucking lost.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting to sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna pile as much detail as I can into this art, and then you look at it on the screen. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what did I do?
Yeah. Well, so some of the cool, a funny thing that's happened, and I actually brought this up to Kevin Hinkle during his interview, is you, of course, you see things so differently, and you'll recommend animated movie, or I'll watch an animated movie, and we'll talk about it, and I'll absolutely hate it, and you'll be like, "Oh, I didn't even realize the story. The animation was just absolutely fucking fantastic." And so what would be out right now, all time? What would be like your top 3 animated movies or shows? What's your favorite animation that you've seen on the screen?
Okay, so it's funny that you mention uh stories that people don't quite like, but the art's so damn good that I ignore it.
Yeah.
I actually like the story, but a lot of people are like, it's okay. There's a movie called Nocturna, and it was done by a Spanish studio, and it didn't get a DVD release in the US until like 2020. And it's this beautiful animated adventure about this little boy who lives at an orphanage, and every night he looks up and sees this star, and it comforts him. and the star disappears one night. And he's like, what the fuck? And the stars start disappearing, right? And so he goes on this adventure to figure out what the hell is happening to the night sky. And it's this great kid story about what's actually happening at night.
Yeah.
And you know what all the sounds are, and all why you wake up with bedhead, and all this wonderful stuff. It's a great, great, great story, and it's about overcoming your fear, and it's the most little kid thing you can possibly be afraid of, the dark.
Right.
And so the movie is about this kid overcoming his fear of the dark, and it's beautifully animated, and it's freaking awesome, and I love it to death. And that would be number one. But the amount of people that I'll like gush over that and show it to, and they'll be like, "All right, that's cool." It's I totally it totally works for that. The second one is Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yeah. Yep. I knew.
There's never been a more beautifully animated movie, in my opinion, than that, and then number three, which is The Jungle Book. It
Yeah.
is
I knew you were
so
gonna put it
beautifully
up. You're
done.
talking about big cats.
Yeah, it's so beautifully done. It is milk call at its finest, with one of the greatest voice casts in Disney movies ever assembled. Um, those three are just peak animation to me. And then I guess there's always a runner up.
Always.
Um, and if
Little
you
man.
don't like this movie, you can literally go fuck yourself. Like fuck yourself right off a cliff. The Great Mouse Detective. If you don't
Fuck.
appreciate that movie and you don't think it's beautifully animated, you can literally fuck yourself off a cliff. And not like fuck off a cliff. No, no. Fuck yourself off a cliff. Like use the motion to launch yourself right the fuck off. Because just
Physics.
fucking yep, just get the fuck out of here.
Quote
Because
Les,
you're obviously a demented wrong human.
to quote Les Grossman, literally take a step back and fuck your own face.
I mean, it would knock them off the cliff. So
Yeah.
they could do that too.
Trying to help out.
Yeah,
Nice man.
I
And
appreciate it.
what would you do you have a movie that had a theatrical release that is just absolutely dog shit animating, which makes you scratch your head like how the fuck did this get produced and released?
Oh. Anything by Ralph Bakshi?
Who's that? Who that?
He was a big animator in the 80s. He had his own studio. He did Fritz the Cat. He did oh shoot, what was that movie about the fairy? Anyway, to be fair to him, he was balling on a budget, right? The dude was having to do as much budget work as he could, so there was a lot of rotoscope, and not good rotoscope, like shitty rotoscoping.
Like
Um,
to the Lord of the Rings rotoscope.
yeah, like that stuff pisses me the hell off. But then you have other movies where they should have been great and were absolutely fucking awful, like Tales from Earthsea, which is a Ghibli movie, and uh, it was done by the son. And Hayao Miyazaki, after he saw it, was like, "Yeah, you're never allowed to do that ever again. You're you're bad at your job." Which on the surface is really, really rough to hear, especially if like your dad is this legend that created
The
all these
shadow.
amazing fucking movies. And then he's just like, please don't ever do that again. Um, as a father with a son, I would never do that to my child. But as an animation fan, I was like, yeah, you disappointed all of us, kid. Um, with no excuse. Like there's no excuse. He still had the same crew. He still
Yeah.
had these stud animators. He still had like everything you could possibly have to make an amazing movie, and he made that.
That.
Like,
Well, we
ugh.
got we got to start wrapping up because my phone has about 5% left, and I want to
Fair
get
enough.
it in before it dies. So, um, go ahead and tell everyone what you're going to be offering at the shop on the 25th and what they can expect.
Hand jobs and hugs, baby.
Woo!
No, I'll have an assortment of stickers and prints. I'm gonna see if I can dig up some fun sketchbooks or not sketchbooks, sketch covers for different comics. Um, but we'll see if I get around to that. I've been really busy. I work two jobs, as an animation, or as an animator at Powerhouse and as an animation instructor at ACC. So I've been a little spread thin lately, but if I get the chance, I'll have some comic book sketch covers, some prints, and a boatload of stickers. Otherwise, come on by, see me, and if you want a commission, get a commission. If you just want to shoot the shit, it's hard to get me to shut up once I get going because I'm ADD and I will bunny trail, which is this whole interview. So I'm sorry, Trevor.
And with regards to the sketch covers, I have a couple of blanks coming in, so I'll have
Nice.
some at the shop. So if y'all want him to do a quick sketch cover on the spot, go walk around, come back when it's ready. We can make that happen as well. But yeah, some HJs and comics and maybe some art. And I'm going to do the same thing that I do with all the artists at the spotlight. Once after the weekend of the 24th, any prints that are left over of Tyler's will stay at the shop. So if you all miss out on it, y'all can still come by and pick up some of his stuff. I'll also have his cards. All his information will be linked below, so y'all can go give him a follow now. You can order prints and order a commission whenever. You don't have to wait till the 24th, but please come out, support the shop, support this badass artist, and come check it out, man.
Hell yeah. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.